What's going on, guys? King Strats here, back in another video on the channel, and today we got way too much stuff to go over. Super exciting day because you can see all the wonderfulness going on around it, but let me get to what we have at hand, the actual meal. They said I can only have one slice of pizza, so I only got one. But we got a barbecue chicken giant pizza slice. What it is a barbecue chicken base. Then on top, of course, got the mozzarella, make fun of my accent, go ahead, cheese, of course, barbecue chicken. Then I added the tomatoes and the broccoli because, you know, the health. I actually like tomatoes and broccoli on my pizza now. I don't know why, but I think it's like my old man taste buds. I'm starting to like vegetables on pizza, which, I don't know, that was sacrilege to me as a kid. And of course, more barbecue sauce on top, a little bit of the Italian seasoning, so the oregano, the parsley, and of course the hot peppers. That is my giant pizza slice, but no one cares. No one cares. If you clicked on this video and you haven't been subscribed or seen any of my videos, odds are you care about the stuff that's going on around it. We do review anything new when it comes out, so if you want to see more content like that, more reviews, of course, we do all the snacks when they come out. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe button, bell notification. That is the most cringy YouTube stuff. But we got that out of the way. Now on to the task at hand. I was in Walmart because I actually wanted to get these. This is the culture. This is what I grew up on. This is the stuff that I absolutely love. 3D Doritos are back finally by popular demand. I know a lot of people love them. If you are a 90s baby, if you had your childhood in the 90s, then you know 3D Doritos were the wave and they were so good. So I'm so glad they're back. So we're going to get into those, as well as 2 new flavors of Oreos. All of this stuff was found at Walmart. I did the Brookie ones a little while back. They were also at Walmart, so anybody was looking out for those. They're starting to be released throughout the country. But we've got the Java chip and the chocolate hazelnut Oreos. Now, it is a bit of a play on all of the different Oreos that have already come out. I'm just telling you that from my own experience. I've probably had every Oreo that's ever come out, but let me get into these first. These are the Java chip. Now, if you're unfamiliar, Mocha Oreos were a flavor that was released a few years back, and the chip aspect really comes from the cookie dough or Oreos that they used to have. So if you look at the two, it's almost like they had a mashup of the two, and I am here for it, to be perfectly honest. So you can see, you can get in here and look at this crust. I said crust because I'm looking at a pizza while I'm holding an Oreo, but at the filling. So when you look at the inside, obviously, look, they're gonna be dope. You know what they're gonna taste like, especially if you know already. Oreo, mocha, throwback with chocolate. Let's see. It's everything that I thought it would be, to be honest. The mocha Oreos I used to think were good in almost like the Dunkin' Donuts. They were kind of a mashup with Dunkin' Donuts kind of way. When you add that chocolate to it, it cuts through that coffee taste, which I like coffee. I drink my coffee black. I'm not really a sweet coffee person, but it does work with this. If you're a hardcore coffee person, by the way, Trader Joe's, if you have one near you, has they're called Mocha Jojos. I don't know if they're still there, but they are extremely just straight up coffee taste. This is more like a coffee culotta, frappuccino kind of idea, but the chocolate aspect to it just makes it for like a nice sweet treat. And I actually like them a lot. Let me get one more though, just cause I'm fat. Complements the chocolate shell perfect. Complements the inside. You have to excuse me again, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I say that every video at this point. But mocha and chocolate. Match made in heaven. I feel like the other one, when they were first released, the mocha, I liked but I didn't love. And I think just adding that chocolate chip, you're not getting real chips in it, you're just getting like the chocolate flavoring. It's in there. You can't really, it's not like tangible. You can't like, you get what I'm saying when I say that? I'm tired of views. But all in all, that is very, 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 very good. If you're a fan of the coffee, Starbucks Frappuccino, I think you'll really, really like those. I did talk to a few people that tried them already, and they said they were huge fans because they're like really big coffee people. And I'm not. I drink it black, like I said, and I do like those very much. So we're gonna get quick. I'm not gonna hold you up these crazy long reviews. Like, it's an Oreo, it tastes like coffee, and it's good, okay? I know people like to get really, really like intricate. Not me, especially not at 2 in the morning. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, chocolate hazelnut is actually a re-release with a slight difference. If you're a fan of Nutella, I say Nutella, if you say Nutella, look, I'm not here to make fun of you. The original ones that came out, I believe it was back in 2019. Now, they had a golden Oreo shell. And I'm not joking. I wish I still had the footage. If you go on my Instagram and check the hashtag King Stratz Oreos, I reviewed almost every Oreo that came out back then. The only issue I had with chocolate hazelnut is I did not like the fact that it had a golden shell. Now, the difference is they re-released these with a chocolate shell. And I think it's going to add a better taste because Nutella, naturally, that hazelnut flavor, to me, goes better with chocolate. You got the chocolate shell, and I feel like that was the only thing that was missing from these. So I'm expecting big, big things from these. 1,000 times over, yes. Again, personal preference. It just works better with the chocolate. I'm gonna say chocolate like 48 times, and anybody who doesn't come from New Jersey is gonna make fun of my accent, which I get. I feel you. But I love saying chocolate because that's what it is. So much better to me. I can't remember. I used to do number reads back then. I completely stopped because I feel like when I do things, I don't write them down. So if I'm just thinking off the top of my head and I say, oh, 8 out of 10. Well, why'd you give it not a 9 or a 7? I don't have a tangible reason for you. Everything I do is unscripted, so I'm just talking off the top of my head. Therefore, sometimes I repeat myself. Sometimes I say things that make no sense because it is 2 o'clock in the morning. But I will tell you this. This one, as I knock stuff over, because that's what I do, is the wave. Even me, who is, like, certain people go crazy for Nutella, where I just like it. These are, hold on, let's try something though. Don't tell nobody. This is a secret. You had to watch the video to find this out. This isn't going in the thumbnail. We're gonna try a new flavor. Since they wanted to do the brookie and I said they needed to release more flavor. I didn't do this. Look at this, look. They put the shell on backwards. It's supposed to have this on it, look. Let me see if it's, yeah, look, they put it on backwards. Tell me you ever seen nothing like that. They need to make more thicky Oreos. That's just my opinion. Team thicky. Yes, I don't just mean the Oreos. Like, you know, if you, like, I'm not saying none. I don't want to get demonetized. That's like a symphony. Yes, I said a symphony, like a concert. Like a little bit of the coffee, a little bit of that hazelnut cut through. They need to make these. I'm gonna tell you what. If you're watching this, odds are they put it on back. No, is this whole row backwards? Yo, it is. Look, check it. It's like a limited edition. They put the whole row on backwards. That's wild, bro. Anyway, let's just do this, man. All right, triple double joint. Team Vicky, make this. If you get both, do this and tell me what you think. Yeah. This is the double Java chip joint. Let's just add another one to it because we fat here. All right, there we go. Right here, boom. Half eaten, don't matter. I am totally gonna ruin my appetite, but do that. 100%. I can't chew it because there's too much filling, but it's lit. I highly recommend both of them. I've been very skeptical and critical of Oreo when they release new flavors for the last year. I have to say, all 3 they've dropped in 2021 have been good and have been, to me, definite go get it. So, that's my take on the Oreos. I know you already know what these are. I always gotta tell y'all. Sugar-free lemonade. Yeah, I mixed it with Oreos. I don't have no milk. I used it all in the cereal challenge. Got no milk nowhere, man. All right, let's get these out the way. You guys have been great. Thank you for stopping by. See yourself to some fresh mints on the way out. Okay. 3D Doritos for me. Just take me back to school lunch. I don't need to review these. Like, come on now. Y'all already know the vibe. Like, let's just plop some on. Now, the difference is this is chili cheese nacho. That man, see? I couldn't even, I just feel like I'm like in 1992. I really wasn't even old enough to know what the hell's going on, but. Bro! You could have flavored this with gasoline and I probably would still like them. It's just that nostalgia, you bite right into it. Okay. Now, let's get some ranch on here too, though. And now let's see. Let me try this too. Now the OG flavor was really just cheese. Spicy ranch. It's kind of crazy because I haven't had these in a while. But you know what these taste like to me, low-key? Y'all like Bugles? Y'all eat Bugles? I feel like Bugles are like that snack that nobody ever cared about. But, like, if you put them in front of them, you'll eat them. And that was me always with Bugles. Like, I liked them, but I never went out my way. The spicy ranch, it's not spicy, like, necessarily has, like, a kick. But it doesn't just taste like regular ranch, I'll give them that. And then there's a hint of, like, the heat at the end. Now, I'm a fan of spicy stuff. Now, what they need to do, I like both these, by the way. I'm trying to see which one I like more. There's barbecue sauce on that one, don't count. Oh. I'm kind of more partial to the ranch. The chili cheese is dope, but I just like ranch chips for some reason with my eye bags. This is just childhood, bro. I feel like I should be watching Rugrats right now or something. Let's get into this pizza. Let's get into these Doritos. We about to get giant barbecue, nice and crisp bottom. The healthy. Oh, and by the way, let me wait this. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. Good amount of crisp to it. I wanted to make it a little bit crunchier because this crust is really thin. And when I have thin crust pizza, I like a little bit of a bite to it. So don't think I burnt it. That's how it's supposed to be. With the, see that? Order thin crust pizza from a pizza place is gonna have that same. If it doesn't, and it's soggy and like falls, that's not good pizza. At least in my opinion. The barbecue sauce on here, 15 calories per 2 tablespoons. I found a new sauce. I'm sure most of y'all will know this, but Sweet Baby Ray's, they make pretty good barbecue sauce, but this one is no sugar added. Now, I've been using G. Hughes religiously. I have to be honest. This one tastes more like barbecue sauce than G. Hughes does. And I'm still a huge fan of G. Hughes, but they got this off. Like, this is actually really good barbecue sauce. If I put this next to the other one, you would be hard pressed to taste much of a difference. There's gonna be a difference because there is sucralose in it, but they added enough sweet to it that the difference is negligible. It's not much. Oh man, this is like pizza and 3D Doritos. Like, this is just, 2021 is already a W. And I feel healthy. Fat-free cheese. Man, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all probably see bags on my eyes. I haven't been getting much sleep. More just because of work stuff. At this point, I'm beginning to meme myself. Like, I feel like every video I pop on here, especially during the week, I'm like, yo, I'm tired. Like, I'm like, yo, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I haven't slept in 3 days. I've been working. That's really the vibe, but it's kind of true. Man, y'all don't know nothing about this. Unless you went to my high school. Nobody was doing this by my high school. This is real talk. I think it was middle school, actually. Yeah, because it was the 90s. No, it was high school. Yeah, 90s. Stupid. But I wasn't in high school in the 90s, bro. I'm tired. Okay, so it was 3D Doritos are probably still out when I was in middle school, which is like turn of the century. And what we used to do, we get these 3D Dorito joints, right? Like these. Back then it was only nacho cheese flavor. There wasn't even Cool Ranch, I think. Or maybe there was, but I'm old. You get yourself a buttered roll. Now, a buttered roll is exactly what it sounds like. A Kaiser roll. And the big joints, I don't know if they really serve Kaiser rolls all over the country because I never really looked. But I think they do. Just think of a big bun. You butter it. That's a buttered roll. Nothing else to it. I don't know why I explained that. And you take these Doritos right here. and you put it in the butter roll. Stack them up, whole bag. So it's like this, and you take the butter roll like this. Fam. Crush it down. You know what that's called? That was called lunch. That just tastes like lunch. That just brings me back. No, this barbecue sauce is really, really good. Wow. I have pizza on my face. A little bit. It's all good. But that crunch, that taste, this is like not a worry in the world type of stuff. Like, this pizza's lit, but I can't stop eating these Doritos. I'm gonna be honest. I keep forgetting my my big napkin roll. I only got one napkin. And y'all don't like food in my face like that. Let me get some more over here. I need that lemonade. Oh man. All I'm missing right now is a pack of Butter Crunch cookies. Butter Crunch cookies were like, y'all gonna have to look this up. They just come 3 in a pack, and they had like these little toffee pieces in them. They were like butter cookies, shortbread cookies, but round, in a chocolate milk. But you had to do it like we did, because we were like, you know how like kids, like, can't really say kids, but you know how like you was in high school, you start like doing little funny stuff. So what we used to do, and not really funny, but people tend to follow like the same trends in high school. So ranch on pizza was a big one, which now is very common, but back then it wasn't. You know, I remember getting to college and they ordered Domino's, which like we never really ate growing up because in New Jersey there's way too many pizza places. So I put ranch on it, so kind of like it's like mask the Domino's taste, you know. And people were like, "Yo, what the hell?" I was like, "That's what we do." But another big thing was to get the chocolate milk, and you had to get a cup of ice and you pour the chocolate. I know people do it, but we all did it. You know, we used to get a big tub of ranch and put it in the middle of the table in the cafeteria on pizza day, which is a Friday and Monday. Let me know, I'm curious again, if any of you guys had or have things that like you and really like everybody in your school or your crew, your squad, whatever, that do, that kind of you think is like your own. Whether it be food or clothes or, you know, I feel like everybody does. The other thing that we all did, me and my I had like 4 or 5 like teammates, basketball, like the starting 5. We used to get the fitted, because fitted hats were a thing back then. Snapbacks didn't get cool until like 2010, where it really like took off. But when I was in high school, and I'm talking, you know, mid to early 2000s, well, mid 2000s, whatever. But you went to school in a snapback, and people would make fun of you. You know, trends change. I mean, when I was in high school, we were wearing baggy jeans, which you can't wear baggy jeans anymore. No one does. Like white tees. I'm sure y'all know what they are. But like the big oversized, like they look like nightgowns. Like the tees used to be all the way down to your kneecaps with a pair of jeans and a fitted. You know, the typical what people think of when they think of like the New York what up son, like we was them. So we got our fitted hats. And what we have to do when you go to fitted hats, right? Because when you got fitted, you had to go to like, around here, they used to have these places called like Dr. J's, which is like, you had to go to like the hood spots to get those kind of clothes. Against all odds was in the mall, but they didn't have the stuff that the hood spots had. So, you know, back then you wore like throwback jerseys. That was real popular. And the tall tees, because we couldn't afford throwback jerseys. Y'all don't know how lucky y'all have it. Because back then, like, to really be fly, because football jerseys were like a thing for such a long time. You know, 2005, these weren't football jerseys, basketball jerseys, throwbacks. Mixing on that throwbacks run you like $600-700 for real. And I would say from like maybe like 2002 to like 2007, that's all people wore. Not 2007. That was more like the white tee phase. But you had to spend a lot of money. How much a pair of Timbs cost? You had to have Timbs and they had to be fresh. Had to be fresh. If you had a scuff on your Timbs, see, here in the New York metropolitan area, which is where I live, New York City is probably like 10 minutes away from me. Like if you stand on top of my house, you can see New York City. That's how close I live. So we all are kind of like, you know, even though New York kind of looks at Jersey, man, we all have the same vibe. And Tim's over here for a very long time. I still wear Tim's. They're like an art form. It was like you had to have a way you rocked them, the way you wore your laces, what you did with the tongue on your Timbs, because that mattered. Because like, there's a real thing. If you had the funny tongue on your Timbs, yeah, it stayed straight up if you had it right. But if you had the funny tongue, it used to just like be like limp and it'll be flopping around when you walk. I ain't trust them people. And like people are starting now with like the meme with the black Air Forces. It was real back then too. Because that's all you really wore, really, was like Air Forces or Timbs. That's it. And you put the Timbs on, really you wore them seasonal. Because Timbs here, like Timbs with other people's boots, were seasonal. Like here, you will wear Timbs with sweats, Timbs with jean shorts. Yes, jorts, jean shorts were a thing back then. Obviously with your jeans. The way you cuffed your jeans was art. Everything you did was like your own swag, your own way you did it. But your crew had a way that all did it. So what we would all do is everybody had to have the fitted on. We all had one. Different ones. I remember I had a Negro Leagues one. It was gray. It was the Homestead Grays. It was a team. And it had my name over here in cursive. You had to go to the hood spot to get it printed. Like stitched on your hat. The way you wore your hat. It was there's an art form to it. It all mattered. So, you either wore it. Back then, you had to have like a hat size. So, it was like 7 1/4, 7 5/8. We used to go to like the hood spot or Lids just to get hats like every week. You had to have a fresh hat. And everybody had a way that they wore one. Now, if you was the person with waves, you had to have a do-rag on, so you had to get a bigger hat. So that evolved. Jay-Z kind of brought this like to a wider audience, but a lot of us wore hats like this. Like they used to be right here, so you couldn't even see up. Like you have to do this to look up. That's how I used to wear my hats. You know, I had my little like curly curly hair back then, my little fro. But I never even took my hat off because I never did back then either. But I had to buy the hat bigger for that reason. I'm telling you, it's an art form. A whole art form. Being honest. Timbs. And then I went to college and I had Timbs on, and everybody, all my teammates used to clown me. They'd be like, yeah, son. You know, making fun of like the whole like East Coast thing. None of them wore Timbs. Then I got out there in college and these dudes was wearing these like clothes. I was like, yo, what are these dudes wearing? They had like Girbaud jeans. Like, we didn't wear Girbaud jeans. That was like the only thing I knew about Girbaud jeans is that Juvenile said it in the song. I had never seen Girbaud jeans. Ever. And I used to wear like Reebok Classics. I didn't go to school in New Orleans. I went to school in Iowa. But a lot of my teammates were from like all over the country. So we had a dude from Houston, one of my roommates from Louisiana, had another one from Detroit. When we were freshmen, we had like 5 to like a dorm, and it had like a kitchen, like kind of like an apartment. So we had 2 from Louisiana, 1 from Houston, and there were 6. Because another one was from Detroit and the last one was from Chicago. And then it was me from Jersey, so we was like all over the country. And that was probably the dopest part of college was you got to see how everybody got down where they were from. Like, we all had our own different little thing that we brought to the table. I had never heard of like chopped and screwed music, and it wasn't popular back then. It got popular for a while, but I had never heard of any of that stuff until I got to college, and I came in, and my roommate, because he was the one that was like directly in my room. There was 2 to each room. I'm playing like, like Hove and like Fabulous, because Fabulous was popping back then, and like, typical East Coast stuff like 50, a lot of mixtape artists, whatever. And he started turning on his music, and all his music was like, horn down, like everything was so slow. And he wouldn't listen to music unless it was like chopped and screwed, nothing. He would be like, yeah, that's cool. Like, but slow that down. That's all he ever said. And he wanted everything, but I learned so much. This was before the Houston like wave was really popping. Like, he used to listen to stuff like Chameleonaire, Paul Wall, Lil Flip, like the SUC was like a screwed up click. They had like a whole little like fat Big Mo, like some crazy stuff. And I had never heard any of this stuff. Mike Jones he listened to. Remember Mike Jones? This was all before it was all popping, because they all made it like mainstream. And he was listening to Mike Jones before Mike Jones got like really big. Remember Mike Jones had them songs like Paul Wall, all them. He was playing that stuff way before then. All the little underground mixtapes. I remember the first time, and I'm not familiar with Mike Jones, you gotta look this stuff up, because this was crazy. I was like, what are you listening to? I was like, because I'm an East Coast, like, we about lyrics. And he's like, nah, man, it's Mike Jones, man. Like, oh, he talk with the little, got like a little teeth, the gold teeth, but Mike Jones said his name in songs, every song, multiple times, bro. Like, he'd be like, Mike Jones, who? Over and over again. Like, I was like, yo, like, we know the man's name, and he would drop his phone number. It's like, yo, shit. Oh my goodness. A lot of y'all, this is going over your head. But if you're my age bracket, you probably know what I'm talking about. Mike Jones used to say his name in every song, and he had a phone number, and he would say it. And I used to be like, yo, this is corny, right? As I got older, I realized that was brilliant. I still know the number. 281-330-8004. That was years ago, bro. I still know the number. You can't tell me that's not brilliant marketing. Like, let's be real. That was about, what, like 10 years ago? Maybe longer. It was right around that, though. I still know the phone number. I don't even know my phone number from when I was that age. And I know his. So I gotta give it up. Credit where it's due. Then we had the kid from Chicago. And he used to call everybody Joe. Like how we would call each other bro, or like B, which is a real one from like East Coast, especially around that time. He'd be like, man, what's up, Joe? I'm like, yo, why you keep calling me? We had to learn so much about different parts of the area. So it was just really cool to do all that stuff. And then as I got older, like my closest roommate, or 2 of them, but one of them was from St. Louis, and he was with the, they was Chingy and shit. Y'all remember Chingy? Y'all remember Chingy? Y'all, this is going over so many people's heads. Y'all gotta Google this stuff if you don't know. there was a wave of St. Louis rappers for a while too. And it was like Nelly came first, obviously like mainstream. And then like Chingy. And I know I'm forgetting some, but that's really the ones I remember. But I can't lie. When Chingy used to come on the club, he had that one song, "You could come if you want to come on," and it was dope. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about right now? If you are, especially if you're like a Gen Zer, I don't know, because you would know. You would just be like mad young. I used to go to the club though, and doing a little Chingy dance, right? Y'all can hear the song right now because I'm doing the dance. Just fun times. I just went through like my whole. I definitely was much different back then though. A lot of people say when they talk, like I talk, say that I talk very proper. You know, I didn't talk proper back then. As I got older, I'm gonna put it this way. I know there's a lot of you guys listening that are in, you know, early 20s, maybe you're still a teenager, and the way you talk is much different than how I talk. You know, I get told like I sound like the president, like Obama, or like stuff like that. Like I feel you, I do. Let me tell you two things. Number one, don't forget that I'm not from, I wasn't raised in, you know, like, I can still talk differently. I just don't. But it comes out if I get really heated. Mad. If you don't know what that means, but that's really the only time. Then you'll start hearing me say, you know, little phrases but as you get older, you start realizing that you can't talk like that. You got to be able to speak proper. And I'm not saying you have to sell out, quote unquote, but when you're going through job processes, or even me, in my business, my everyday business, right? Which, you know, I work in the fitness industry, but I have my own personal training studio. So when people come in and they're interested in working out, they're people of all walks of life. And you're talking about my money, my business, right? My livelihood, how I eat, how I'm eating these chips. If somebody comes into my place of business and they're like, you know, people all walks of life. People from inner cities, people from the suburbs, people from affluent neighborhoods. And they come in and they're like, oh, you know, I'm interested in, I can't be like, well, you motherfuckers don't work. You know, like, you can't talk like that. Like, it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not necessarily selling. It's about being professional. Like, you have to be able to speak a certain way. So, as I got older, I worked more. I speak more. I phased out. Just like when I moved to the Midwest and I was in college, I started speaking with a little more of a Midwest accent. You feel me? All of a sudden, like my chocolate, my coffee, I wasn't saying those words. When I moved home, it came back. But you almost have to have that when you're talking professionally to people, because you want them to hire you for your services. Like, you can't be like, oh, should we finna do, like, it doesn't work that way. So when you're young, yeah, I get it. I used to do the same thing. But as you get older, you kind of phase that stuff out. Like, for example, you know, I'm not going to sit here and lie. When I was younger, I used to use the N-word. I don't. I stopped. I took it out of my vocabulary. But when I was in college, I said it all the time. You probably couldn't imagine me talking like that right now. And I feel you. That's on purpose. One, because you can't say that in a professional setting. And two, because I didn't want other people, I get it, you know, I'm saying it to someone who looks like me, you feel me? But there are other people who started using the word because they either thought it was funny or they feel like they're in with that crowd and they can use it. And I'm not cool with that. So, me using that word almost gave people the impression that it was okay to use it, and I'm not okay with that because, and listen, people out there, you know, when they talk about being able to use the word, let me just tell you this. You might think it's funny because I went to high school in the suburbs. I've seen people that don't look like me use that word and think it was funny. You know, just trying to be cool, you know, with their friends, ha ha ha, right? Let me just give you a piece of advice. Take it out of your vocabulary. And I'm telling you this for your own benefit. Because if you say that to the wrong person or around the wrong person, you're going to get open hand slapped. Yes, I said slapped it. You will get open hand smacked in the face. And I'm just trying to stop you from saying that because you can't say that. I'm just keeping it real. I know you think you can, but you say it around the wrong person. I know it's cool to hide behind the internet and say that kind of stuff. And I feel you. But IRL, you're going to let it slip the wrong time, and you're going to get smacked. Y'all seen the Twisted Tea meme? That's real. Can't say it. He thought it was cool. By the way, that video, I watched it the first time. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Most of y'all do, because y'all on the internet like I am. There's a Twisted Tea video. It's a video of just a dude at a liquor store. One that looks like me, and one that doesn't. You get what I'm saying? So, the dude is talking to the one that looks like me, and he keeps using, you know, that word. Says it once, says it twice, keeps going. And the dude tells him to stop saying it. And the one that doesn't look like me is basically like, what are you gonna hit me? And the first time I'm watching this video, I'm sitting here going, this dude's about to get this dude is about to get like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. I'm like, this dude stuck his face out like this and said, hit me. So he was obliged. So man's had a Twisted Tea. I still laugh thinking about it, bro. And it was on the floor. So he picked it up and he was holding his hand like real cool, like, and the dude just kept saying it, and all of a sudden he was like, bah! He told him to do it. I'm not gonna lie though. The dude that got hit with it, he kind of ate it. Because he started fighting after that. You get hit with a full can of Twisted Tea, like you gotta have some force behind it. He ate it. He ate it. Am I the only person that doesn't like pizza crust? Not really my thing. I'm not eating the crust. So we just go. I used to give my crust away, like, if I had a girlfriend, for some reason, every girl I ever did liked the crust. I had to give my crust away. But, get both those Oreos. Definitely get those Doritos. And don't use words that you shouldn't use. That's the moral of the story today. Whew. What time is it? Oh my goodness. 3:15 a.m. We move. Ooh, man. That's fire. But anyway, pizza was dope. Doritos were dope. Definitely a good day. W's all around with the Oreos and the Doritos and the pizza. We will be back. I'm not sure what I'm putting out tomorrow, but there's content every day here. I love y'all. Signs. I've made it to YouTube.